directions, and we will be talking all of this. Who's our joining in this webinar? College students, teachers, to all, my very good morning. So today I am going to be with you and share some things related to renewable energy and the opportunities available in renewable energy to become a successful entrepreneur. So this is my today's topic. So what I am going to cover? So that I will be covering about CSIR one slide because I am working in CSIR. Then the present status of engineers due to COVID-19 and installed power plant capacities, some energy sources, renewable energy, non-renewable energy, then CO2 emissions, global warming, and the status of renewable energy globally at Indian level. The renewable energy target set by our government of India by 2030. Then business opportunities for entrepreneurs in renewable energy sources, solar, wind, biomass, waste energy, so other ways. Training issues are there in India. They are giving training to entrepreneurs. The government supporting system for entrepreneurs. So finally, I will give you one slide from which all new entrepreneurs they will get more support from their message. They will keep doing their work very successfully. So with that, these are things I am going to cover it. Now you see, as I told you, since I am working in the CSIR, the full form of CSIR is Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. Our president is Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. He is our president. Dr. Harshvardhan ji is our vice president, and we have our Honorable Dr. Segar Simade ji is our Director General. So now we are very happy that our vice president he become chairman of World Health Organization now. You see this CSIR is about 38 laboratories all over India. So this you are seeing this all mark. It's all each laboratory. In Chennai, we have 2 laboratories. One is a Structural Engineering Research Center. It is in Taramani. And another is Central Leather Research Institute. It is in Adaya. In Tamil Nadu, we have one more CSIR laboratory. It is in Karaikudi. That is Central Electrochemical Research Institute. So remaining all states, even Kerala, even Karnataka, these all states are in laboratories. In CSIR, we have about 4,600 scientists and supporting staff about 800 technical staff, project staff. So totally about 2,000 staff are working in CSIR. So you can get full details about CSIR in our website. Now you see before, actually I prepared this presentation to give the message to the college engineering students. So, in addition to college students, teachers are there, professors are there, even the engineers who are working in company, so people may be watching. But my message mainly goes to the engineering students, those who are going to complete or just they completed. So that way, this is PowerPoint PPT has been prepared. So before telling the engineers status, you see the status of engineering seats. Almost 50% seats are vacant. Even from 2016 onwards, even in Tamil Nadu government, all engineering colleges they are not in a position to fill the engineering seats. Even last year, up to 1,72,000 seats. So our government has filled only 83,000 seats. So why it is happening like this? So when seats are vacant means the main reason is for either the students are not getting opportunity to work in industries, or the students are not having the relevant skills sets to meet the requirement of industries. So this shows that are creating unemployment problem to the engineering students. What is wrong with India's engineers? Actually, when Siddharth Barwani is vice president in Delhi-based company, he did surveys of about 1,50,000 engineering students, and found that only 7% engineering students are capable of handling the jobs in industries. So, as many as 97% of graduating engineers want jobs either in software or core engineering. But only 3% have suitable skills to be employed in software or product market, or only 7% can handle core engineering tasks. So this is the problem the engineering students are facing, even colleges are also facing, but solution is there. So we will find out the solution. But already we are facing problem, but unexpectedly we got this COVID-19. So all you are aware, because you are college students, from March 17th onwards, college has been closed, and even this semester, even not 100% subjects are not covered, only 75 to 80% subjects were covered. So now all universities are started giving classes or teaching to the students through online. So since most of the students are in rural areas, because of internet connectivity, other things, it is not very effectively reaching to them, this online classes. And because of this problem, so students are not finding their internship or project work, so they are not in a position to apply to other institutes or other colleges for getting the project or placement. Suppose some students, they have got a placement, so they have received, so that a placement order has been withdrawn. So we know these all things, not only students affected because of COVID, everybody is affected. This COVID-19 has brought this world up to down. So every one of us, we are facing problem, but all of us, we have strong feeling that we are going to overcome this problem. In order to overcome this problem, some field we should identify in which field we can work, so that field will give job opportunity to the engineering students. The better field is renewable energy. So that's the reason why we took this topic. So the renewable energy is going to give enormous job opportunities to the engineering students. So they don't have to worry. If they develop their skills in this line, naturally they will be a good contributor to our Indian economy. Now let me just give some information about energy sources. When we tell energy sources, it is classified mainly two types. One is renewable energy, another is non-renewable energy. The renewable energy means it can be replenished. It will be always available, like solar, wind, biomass, tidal, hydropower, geothermal. These all are considered renewable energy. But non-renewable energy, so you can say this non-renewable energy or conventional energy, like coal, oil, natural gas. These all are non-renewable energy. Whenever you use, that availability will be reduced. So it cannot be replenished. Now, you see.
Sir, your voice breaking. Sorry.
Hello. Now is it okay?
Now it is okay, but sometimes your voice is breaking.
Okay, sir. Because okay, sir. Whenever you are breaking my voice, please let me know. But here, okay, I will continue.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, please continue. Other than the speaker, everybody please mute.
I request all.
Yeah, please.
Request all viewers, please mute your speaker.
I think
so that a single person can speak, others can listen clearly. Okay. Now in India, Assam 30th April 2020, the installed power plant capacity is we have 3,70,000 megawatts. Out of this, thermal based plant, it's about 2,30,000 megawatts. So here thermal based plant means coal, lignite.
Sir,
gas.
sorry, your voice is breaking. I think you need to check the internet.
1 minute, sir.
Hello. Hello, principal.
Sir, I think he's using the wireless mic, I think so, sir. Because of that, there is a lot of disturbance.
Hello.
Sir, you need.
Sir, what is the type of mic you are using, sir?
Is the speaker or is it?
No, it is camera.
Can all hear to the speaker, principal? Is it audible?
Hello.
Yes, sir. It's audible, but it's not clear. It is audible, but not clear.
Principal.
What?
Hello.
Yeah, since you are telling it is audible but not clear.
Yeah, clear.
Then I don't know because I'm seeing
Hello.
the screen only. I'm seeing it.
Oh.
My.
Setraman, you can, if you are using the camera mic, then it is better you bring the camera closer and mute your video so that the mic is closer to your mouth.
Yeah.
Then it will be better.
Since
So voice is more important than the face. So need not to show the face. You can bring the.
Yeah. Oh, it's okay.
Okay. Now I am very close to my.
Hello.
Sir, now I am very close to my.
Now you are better.
So now it is better, sir. You can proceed further. Yeah, no problem.
I'm proceeding.
Sir.
1 minute. Please, sir. 1 minute. Yeah. Previous slide. Previous slide. This one. Yeah. Now I am sitting very near to my. I hope that my voice is clear now.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, sir. So in India, we have installed about 3,70,000 megawatt power plant. So mainly thermal based power plant is more than 60%, and renewable energy is about 23.6%. So because non-conventional energy, that is renewable energy, is going to boost our economy. So we have to find out the alternative way so that we can avoid using fossil fuels. That is, because fossil fuels having some life. If you see this graph, so this blue color, this oil. So this availability of oil will be availability of this oil will be up to 2050. In another 10 years, that is up to 2060, availability of gas will be no more. Then we will be getting coal only 2000 up to 2080 only. So after 2080, then naturally we will not be having fossil fuels. So you have to work for finding alternative fuels. That is mainly non-conventional energy or renewable energy sources is going to help us. And another problem of using fossil fuel is, you see here, if you consume 1 kg of coal, it will emit 2.4 kg of carbon dioxide. Like that, LPG, diesel, petrol, this all fuels. So how much quantity of CO2 it is emitting, you can see from this table. And apart from this, even temperature also is increasing. We are facing global warming, all the things. So all, you know, you are aware about global warming. So I don't know to tell about that one. So global renewable energy, the present status is globally 47% energy comes from hydro, 23% energy comes from solar, and 25% comes from wind. So you see, this is a country-wise installed renewable energy capacities. China is number 1, US is second, Brazil third, and now India is number 4. Globally, we are in number 4 using renewable energy. In the global renewable energy and consumption, so mainly, so though that the solar, wind, biomass is available, so most of the people are using only traditional biofuels. That is firewood kind of things. So in India, you see the total energy generations year-wise, starting from 2009 to 2010. So it was 300 billion units, And even now the 2019 to 2020 this year, the annual energy generations is about 1,390 billion units. So this includes renewable also. The renewable contributes about 23% of total energy generations. Now you see the target set by our Indian government. So we will be installing about 450 gigawatt power from renewable energy by 2030. So just last month, there was a scheme, it's called Kusum scheme, announced by the Prime Minister. It's a Pradhan Mantri Kusum Yojana. Under that scheme, so we will be installing solar power plant and for farmers. The mainly this is government is going to support farmers to purchase solar operated pump. This all details I will be giving in my forthcoming slides. Anyway, the solar tables. Okay. Now you see in this table the target. This is financial year 2021. This is the target set. Actually, we should generate 3,000 megawatt power, but how much is generated? 12.6 megawatt only. That's up to net 2020. Still, we have potential. For solar, 9,000 megawatt was target. Achieved is only 176 megawatt. So like that, this all details. Because time, I don't want to go through this all figures. Time will not permit me. So I would like to complete my presentation in half an hour time. So I will quickly go to some other slides. Yeah. Now we see the business opportunities for the entrepreneurs in renewable energy. See, in 2016, our government has installed solar power plant in Kamudi, that is in Tamil Nadu. It was having capacity of 648 megawatt. But in 2016, we said that it is the world's highest solar power plant. But in next year itself, that is 2017, China has installed 80,050 megawatt. Sir, are you hearing? All my voice is clear. Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, please. Because I'm speaking myself, somebody has to interact. They should tell to me, yes, sir, my voice is audible or some problem. Please let me know it so that I can adjust my system.
You are very, very clear, sir. Very clear. Please proceed.
Thank you, sir. Then you see, in 2018, we have installed 1,000 megawatt solar power plant in Karnool.
Sir, but your presentation, we cannot see the presentation. Sorry.
Presentation, sir.
Principal, can you see the presentation?
Presentation, 1 minute, sir. I'm seeing. Actually, this is the problem, sir, in online or webinar. Some kind of problem, always we are facing it. This is the.
Yeah.
Ansar Begum is present.
Ansar Begum.
Yeah.
Sir, Ansar Begum is presenting, sir. Please ask her to stop the presentation.
Who is that?
Ansar Begum.
Who is that? Please stop presentation. Ansar Begum. Who is that? Ansar Begum? Please stop the presentation.
Sir, from
Ravi Maran, principal.
From your side, you can control na, sir. Whosoever coming in between.
Principal.
Yeah, okay. Fine. Yeah.
Yeah, now okay. Please proceed, sir.
Sir,
I removed Anwar. No problem.
Sir, can you show the previous presentation and proceed? Sorry.
Yeah, now it's okay, sir. Now it's coming.
yeah, okay. Sir, since I'm hearing that sometimes my presentation is not showing.
Yeah.
So the viewers who are watching this webinar or joining this webinar, please don't present your things. It will disturb our things, sir. This is my request.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now we can say very proudly that in India, the world's largest solar park is in India, It is in Rajasthan, sir. 2,245 megawatt power plant is installed. Now, what are the business opportunities are there for entrepreneurs in solar field? Because India is a tropical country. It is in a year 250 to 300 days they are getting good sunny days, and per meter square the annual that is global radiations they are getting 1,600 to 2,200 kilowatt hour per meter square. So this is the potential available in India. So this all entrepreneurs or engineering college students, you may please look for working in solar field, either water heating, solar water heating there. You can go for installing this water heating systems for domestic based things, or college or universities, institutes, hotels, or hospitals, industries. Everywhere hot water requirement is there. So solar hot water plant, hot water, one can go. This is a good business available in this one. Even solar PV system also. There are three types are there. One is grid connected type, so that whatever power you are generating, that you can export to grid. Another is off-grid systems. So that these off-grid systems require battery. So entrepreneurs, they can go for marketing this all PV panel, inverters, cables, isolators, mounting systems, or measuring instruments like energy meters, or finding the efficiency of solar photovoltaic systems. This all work they can undertake. Even hybrid systems, even means two systems, solar and wind coupled. This also they can go for it. It's a very good business opportunities there in this field. Entrepreneurs they can work. Because as I told you, there hot water requirement is there everywhere. Even in industries, they are generating steams for their process applications. When they are generating steams, naturally they have to use fossil fuels. Instead of that fossil fuels, they can go for installing solar air dryers. This will rise the temperature of air, and that hot air can be used or supplied to the furnace. And again, the hot water can be supplied to the process. So, by which they can save fuel saving. Here you see here, for every 6 degrees Celsius, right, in boiler good water temperature, there is 1% fuel saving is there. For every 21 degrees Celsius rise in combustion air, there will be 1% fuel savings. These all are there. Those who are working in energy field, they are aware of this one. One more example is, even in Avi, that they have installed this concentrated solar thermal systems. One in Salem, another in Soliganallur in Chennai. So, because this milk is to be heated suddenly up to 78 degrees Celsius, and again it should be cooled. That process is called pasteurization. So now this Avin is through this concentrated solar thermal systems, they have replaced furnace oil, and by replacing the furnace oil, they saved 2.2 lakh rupees per month, and within the payback period will be 5 years. Our government has supported. The government has given 1.2 crores to Avin through this chief minister's innovation fund. And central government also supported this scheme. So this is also one good area. Entrepreneurs can work for designing, developing, installing solar concentrated thermal systems. Again, as I informed you, in the solar field, okay, what are the things we can do is, anyone want to tell to me, sir?
Yes, sir. Sorry to interrupt, and your presentation is not visible in the main screen. In the main screen.
1 minute, sir. Why it is happening?
Hello?
Yeah, Ravi.
So somebody is joining as a presenter, that is a problem. So that's why it's
Can you just stop everybody not to present? Can you just you have the control in that?
Yes, sir. Yes, I will do it.
Put everybody in mute. Put so that nobody chat or present or can unmute. So the
Okay, sir.
speaker can present. Yeah.
Okay.
Sir, you can re-present now, sir.
Hello? Hello, sales.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Sethuraman, sir.
He is not audible. Just connect in the phone and check.
I think he's going to offline, sir.
Yeah,
Maybe I will
connect
check
in
it.
mobile.
I
Connect
will
in
check it
mobile.
through mobile. Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Meanwhile, I think most of the students and faculties are here while the speaker is presenting. அதாவது அவங்க ப்ரெசென்ட் பண்ணும்போது யாருமே தயவுசெய்து நீங்க உள்ள ப்ரெசென்ட் பண்ணீங்கன்னா என்ன ஆகும், அவங்களோட ஸ்லைடு பார்க்க முடியாம போயிடும். ஸோ வைல் யூ ஆர் இந்த வெபினார் டோன்ட் ப்ரெசென்ட் அண்ட் ஆல்சோ யூ மியூட் யுவர் மைக்ரோஃபோன்ஸ். இப்போ பாருங்க ஸ்பீக்கர் கனெக்ட் ஆகல.
Dear viewers, this all are a problem everyone will be facing because through webinar, unexpectedly some problem will come. Again, you have to sort it out. Connection is coming out. Yeah, now just reconnected.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It is not only to me. Everyone will be facing this kind of technical problem. So what you have to do? You have to just,
but in the technology, I think the moderator, he can mute everyone. He can mute everyone by not, chatting. He can mute everyone by not presenting. So I think principal, you do everything, so that the students are not interrupting.
But all are in mute. But all are in.
So
all are in mute mode, sir.
That's okay. But I could see two of them presented. Because of that only this interruption came. Okay, sir.
When you admit a new members, it's a problem. So there is a
reason. Okay.
Otherwise, they are in all or in the mute mode.
Right. Okay, proceed, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay. Achha. Now you see this hardware requirement is everywhere there. For example, you see here tea plant. They need hardware. Leather industry they need hardware. Even some food processing industry they need hardware. Textile industries they need hardware. So most of the industries they need hardware. So this hardware can be generated by solar, the irrigating systems. So in Tamil Nadu, the 10 individual companies there, they have installed many solar irrigating systems for tea plant. So these all are some products, so you can see that. So entrepreneurs, please see that very good potential is available for you to install a hardware systems for Indian industries. Yeah, Tamil Nadu government last year published a policy. It is called Tamil Nadu Solar Energy Policy 2019. So that you can see from the website. I do not want to go through this all information because the time shortage is there. Okay. Yeah. Again, list of empaneled rooftop solar PV systems installers. Tamil Nadu government, that is Tamil Nadu government energy development agencies, they have approved entrepreneurs or the private companies, whoever they are showing interest to work in solar field, they have approved. So these are the empaneled vendors, email ID, contact persons, mobile number, all are there. So as per things, this all vendors, they are ready to install solar photovoltaic systems for about 43,000 to 60,000 rupees per kilowatt. If we go alonely, it will cost about 1,23,000 rupees required because government is supporting. Almost 50 to 60% money government is giving. So everyone will think of installing solar photovoltaic systems in our homes or everywhere, then using this vendors. So engineering college students, those who are going to complete your degree in 1 year or already completed, please try to enter into the field. Within Tamil Nadu government, also one new schemes announced. So they have adopted one village. The village name is Irumbai. It is very near to Pondicherry. It is in between Aravalli to Tindivanam. So there, it's a small village. City families are there. So the government is going to install 120 kilowatt solar power plant in that village. So this village will be called 100% energy supplied by renewable energies. So again, those who wanted to get some training in this renewable energy field, there is some institute is there, the National Power Training Institute. You can go to this website. But I hope that all the college management will share this my PPT slides to all the viewers. So more details are given in this slide. You can just take the note of things and to make use of the information. So in the National Power Training Institute, so they are giving online training in the solar field. So you can see it. For college students, they will be charging only 6,000 rupees. For industry people, 25,000 rupees is there. The more useful courses they are teaching, so you can get the training from them. Even in the CSIO, we have created one common research and technology development hubs. It is simply called CRTTH. So we are going to establish this setup in our center. So those who wanted to develop like inverters or any solar photovoltaic related equipment, they can bring their equipment to our office, we will test and they will give the certificate, efficiency, everything. So this facilities will be having another 1 or 2 years back. You can approach CSIO. Now you see the wind. Now the wind also, there is a good potential is there for entrepreneurs. Now the problem is the wind. If they are the problem is when it is rotating, naturally the birds, small when it is getting affected. So entrepreneurs think without affecting the birds or without creating much noise, that can we develop a suitable wind turbine? Can we design? For example, you see here this middle, this type of turbine will be useful. So it will not affect the birds. And even if it is a hybrid system, solar and wind both are combined. And the space is also very less space is required. And you see, this is very interesting one, like parachute kind of thing. So we can the wind turbine we can install here. When the parachute is going up, then we can change the height also. With respect to height, power also can be changed. We will be generating more power. So all entrepreneurs, please look into this different type of small wind turbines are available. We can modify that existing wind turbines and increase the efficiency of wind turbines. See, the efficiency means if you see the wind power is this is formula 1/2 rho AG cube. So power is directly proportional to the air density, the area of that hub and velocity of the cube of the air velocity. Now the total efficiency of wind turbine is about 30% only. So this efficiency can be improved by the entrepreneur by suitably changing the designs, everything. Now you see this graph, only the wind potential is there in India. The maximum wind power can be generated at the wind speed about 10 to 12 meters per 12 meters per second. But in India, most of the cities, or for example, Trichy or Chennai or Coimbatore or some places, most of the months, almost 7 to 8 months, we will be getting wind speed about 4 to 5 meters per second. Now, what is recorded is entrepreneurs they try to develop a wind turbine which can operate at this speed, less speed, generate more. This is the area entrepreneurs look into it. Now, for getting in training in wind turbine, National Institute of Wind Energy is there. It is in Velachery. They are also getting training. The engineering students or whoever wanted to get training in the wind field, please approach them. Keep on watching their website. They will get a good exposure in this wind field. Now the waste to energy. You see here, all waste, biomass waste, everywhere is there. Like from the trees or from the agricultural fields, we are not using the agricultural waste. Simply in North India, people are simply firing it. Because of firing, more smoke is coming out. It's affecting and the transport, everything. People are highly affected because of high smoke. So why don't we make use of this waste, biomass waste? We can manufacture by using this biomass waste. We can prepare pellet. It's called briquettes. So these briquettes having more calorific value. It is equal to coal. Since moisture is less and the calorific value will be more than say 4,000 kilocalorie per kg, and this cost will be about also about 5,000 rupees per ton. So entrepreneurs, or engineering students, please try to see in this one. Suppose you are in rural side, village side, how much quantity of biomass waste is getting generated. Please try to collect all waste, and suitable equipment are there in Coimbatore also. Then we can prepare, manufacture the pellet and supply to the industries. In waste to energy potential. In fact, I did one research in leather waste. My PhD work itself is converting leather waste into gaseous fuel. So I tell you, because before this leather waste, I'll tell you the present method available to dispose the waste waste. One is anaerobic digestion, second is composting, third is land core disposal, and the fourth is thermal incineration. These all four methods are having some limitations. Okay, you see, because of thermal incinerations, more that firing, CO2 emissions, global warming, all are there. Because of land spilling, the coal land spilling, we don't have sufficient space to dump all our waste. Okay. Naturally, we should find out alternative methods. Even this anaerobic digestion is mainly used, it's good for cow dung only, or not good for other type of fuels. Even this composting, from the composting you can generate manures. So these are different techniques available to convert waste into different product or gas other things. But since I told you that I did a PhD in leather industries, in leather industries you see, to produce one, suppose you are giving 1000 kg input to the leather industry, output is about 200 kg only. Remaining 800 kg will be the waste. There will be solid waste. Different type of solid waste are there. There is the flushing waste, cutting waste, chrome shaving. This all are waste are there. So I thought that why don't we make use of this all waste? So I developed a system that is called pyrolysis systems. Using that pyrolysis systems, then the leather waste is converted into gaseous fuel, liquid fuel. You can charge all the things. Even from Ethiopia, when a foreign minister he visited my plant, he is the Ethiopian minister. He has seen that plant. So why I am showing this slide to the engineering student means everywhere potential is there. Please, engineering students, please see, look at you. Try to make use of the opportunities. You can, you don't have to depend for employment or government job also. You can develop your own industries. You can give employment opportunity to many students. Many people will follow you. So like this is the one example I'm telling to you. Whoever wants to generate, they can develop their own power plant using this waste. It is all the product. Now the government supporting schemes. How much minutes I have? Yeah. Now since my Dr. Sanjay Vasisi is waiting, he is going to take. He is a very good entrepreneur, successful entrepreneur. So he will tell about his achievement, success, whatever the success he achieved. And he started his company. And now that he, instead of my telling, the government opportunities available for entrepreneurs. So since his presentation is linked with my presentations, I expect and also request Dr. Sanjay, please take care of the entrepreneurs schemes available for the government sector. But still, I would like to show. I will take 3 more minutes. Okay, I will just cover 3 slides.
Okay, sir.
Okay, please, yeah. Because in government is really supporting entrepreneurs, engineering students. So you see here some training program. One, the National Institute for Entrepreneurship and Small Business Development. This is the government of India. Things here in the please students keep on watching this website. The training program you can see it, you can apply it, enrich your knowledge, and try to start your business. Even Make in India is also there. In Make in India, even government is supporting. You know that government is going to install solar park, that ultra mega solar power park. 40,000 megawatt we are going to generate by using this park. Even 100 smart cities are going to come. This all smart cities will be having mainly renewable energy only. Okay. Even that nowadays our government supporting to have electric vehicles. So now when the electric vehicle comes means naturally the vehicle has to go stop somewhere else, then it has to charge. So that the battery systems also required. So people are working in different batteries to support the electric vehicle. Okay. Even the loans, the government is giving good loans, and everyone will get loans. Even household, every individual household they can get loans about 50,000 USD to have this renewable energy. Even the Department of Science and Technology also having entrepreneur development schemes. Please watch this website. You will get full details. I have known the details of this website. Okay, this is the DST website. Here this is micro, small, and medium entrepreneurships. The small industry development bank. These all details are available. Please, engineers, look into this government schemes and see that where you can fit it. Try to get support from them and try to start your own business. So there is one PRISM scheme is there. This is promoting innovations in individual startups. and MSMEs. This also comes under DSIR, so you can see it. Details can see in their website. Like the one more encouraging entrepreneurs. This also their government schemes only. You can see it comes under Ministry of Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprises. So they are also supporting entrepreneurs. And even you see here in the budget 2021, our Prime Minister Modi ji has informed that. So we have to generate about 5 trillion economy. Okay. So this, how we will achieve this 5 trillion economy? By just reducing our import bills of oils, other things, by generating our own energy, then only we can achieve this one. Now this entrepreneurs opportunities are there. Website is given. Please you can go through the website. You can get full details. Yeah, this is my last slide. How you see, as I informed you earlier before my starting my presentations, that these all are successful entrepreneurs. You know this Dhirubhai Ambani. So what he is telling is telling that think big, think fast, think ahead. Ideas are no one's monopoly. So all engineers, you don't have to feel that okay, only that person will think. I cannot think. Oh, ideas is no one's monopoly. Okay, you can think and start your own business. But he also said that if you don't build your dream, someone else will hire you to help them build theirs. Again, our data. So what he is saying is ups and downs in our life are very important to keep us going, because a straight line even in an ECG means we are not alive. So naturally up and down is required. So now because of COVID, we may be thinking that we are in down. No, down is also required for our life. Only straight line, flat line, it means we don't have any life. So let us go both up and down. So like this. So here you know this Infosys, so Narayanan, he said the people are ready to pay if they are convinced about your service and product. Even knowledge is Lakshmi Mittal, knowledge is a key. Take bold decisions, be responsible, seize opportunities, either get experience. Like that, it is all messages. Please, entrepreneurs or engineering students, please take their message and inculcate in your life. Even like in Dr. Sanjay also, he is one of the very good entrepreneur that he will tell you how he has grown in his life, how his company, how he is growing, he will tell you after me. Now the entrepreneur always search for change, response to it and exploit. It is an opportunity that the Peter Tucker has told. Now this man, you are seeing one piece. Since you are students, engineering students, please see this video from this website. But he is an IAS officer. After passing +2, but he could not continue his degree because of his family situation. His name is Prabhakar. He is a Tanjavur person. Now he is IAS collector in South District. Okay, what he is telling is after completing +2, 4 years gap has come. He was working in the sawmill. Then after 4 years again he joined engineering degree. He did MTech, then IAS. That is IAS officer. Please engineer, new engineers, young engineers. You try to start your own. Okay. With this, I would like to conclude my presentation. Thanks to this all college management, the chairman, secretary, principal, like our director, this all everybody is there. I would like to thank to you all for giving this opportunity to me. Now, if any question is there, I will answer to you. Let Dr. Sanjay present his presentation. Can I stop that?
Sir, we will have the question and answer session.
At the end of
now.
the session. We will take it at the end of the session, sir.
Okay, thank you.
No, no,
I will present my presentation, sir.
sir. Hello.
Yeah, I will present my presentation now. Thank you all.
Okay. Principal,
Yes, sir.
are we going to have the question and answer session later?
We will take it in the second session, sir.
Okay.
At the end of the second session.
Okay.
Okay. So thank you, sir. Thank you,
sir.
Seduraman sir.
Thank you,
Thank you, Seduraman sir, for your wonderful presentation. Your presentation is really amazing because you are giving so many information to our student community as well as for the faculty member. Okay. Thank you, sir. Once again, thank you very much for a nice presentation. Right. So now we will start the second presentation by Dr. Sanjay Vasistha. Before we proceed, I request Head of the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering Department to introduce the guest to this gathering. Please, madam.
Okay, sir. Good morning, all. I have immense pleasure to introduce our chief guest, Dr. Sanjay Vasistha, CEO and Director, First Green Consulting Private Limited, Haryana, India. He has 20 years of professional experience in the renewable energy sector throughout our country. He worked in diverse areas ranging from technology, policy, financing, and project management. He has been involved with MNRE with Solar Policy of India. He has significant experience and participated in the ADB's missions to Maldives, Sri Lanka, and Nepal. He was active member of ECBC Code of Bureau of Energy Efficiency, and he has been an academician, worked as a faculty in BITS Pilani. Moreover, Dr. Vasistha conducted many training programs in renewable energy and energy efficiency. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Dr.
Thank
Sanjay,
you,
sir. Now you can take over the session, sir.
Thank you, sir, for my introduction. And let me just start sharing my.
Yes, sir. It is coming.
It is coming?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, it's,
So thanks for inviting me to this session on entrepreneurship opportunities to students and the community who want to work in the solar power sector. Professor, I hope I'm audible well.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's good. So thanks for introducing me. I have a journey, long journey as a career of 25 years now. Sethuraman was my classmate, and we have done our master's degree together. I have been working with half of my career as academician, and then started working with corporates like Suzlon and DLF. And I saw a photograph of in the last slide of Dr. Sethuraman that few people are becoming entrepreneur, and the majority are going as an employee. So both are important. It is important to have employees, and it is equally important to become entrepreneur. You should gain sufficient experience once you decide to become an entrepreneur, so that you have enough competencies to become an entrepreneur. Just to give a brief about my organization, we are a leading energy and sustainability consulting firm. We work in the solar as well as green building sector. In solar, we have a portfolio of about 500 megawatt projects as solar advisory services. And we have about 38 platinum certified green building. And we are proud that we have generated employment to some 30 odd engineers. So whatever we have achieved is a teamwork. Entrepreneurship is development of a team and then giving them a direction. That is what I have learned in my journey. I'm sure I will be able to share my experiences with you. Just to give you a brief agenda of this presentation. So we will discuss generally about how the solar market is there, how big is this market, and what kind of opportunities are there. Many of your students may not be knowing about the PV system, so we'll just introduce how exactly this technology works in a very brief. Innovations are key for entrepreneurship. So if you have ability to innovate, you can surely become an entrepreneur as well. So we will discuss, some of the innovations which are happening in solar, and that is creating a lot of entrepreneurship opportunities. As far as the employment per se, this sector requires a lot of skilled manpower, and for that purpose you will also understand that as a graduate engineer and having exposure to renewable sector, how you get the opportunities as a skilled workforce. And finally, my closing remarks that how to get into business and how to become more entrepreneur. Friends, these statistics has already been explained by Siddhi Varman, but I will just add our international view to this. We are globally about 500 gigawatt of renewable capacity, and every year we are adding the solar PV in our portfolio. If you look at the India as a global force, then India is among top 5 countries who have the largest solar PV installations. As of date, India have about 30,000 megawatts. Our target is 175 gigawatt by 2022. As far as the renewable sector, these breakups have already been explained. So we are something like 300 gigawatt installed capacity, and 30% is renewable, which includes the hydro as well. Gradually we are reaching to a situation wherein renewables are dominating the market, not only in the fresh installations, but also in terms of your capacity addition as well as your cost terms. Today, the renewable electricity is much cheaper as compared to the conventional electricity. So that's another advantage which you have if you are in the renewable field. Just to give you a little bit of background, what all is happening on the innovation side and how the technology is behaving. So the technology is on the 3 categories you can define. That is the crystalline silicon technology and the thin film silicon technology. Within crystalline, you have got monocrystalline and polycrystalline technologies. And you can see, every year we are gaining 1 to 2% of energy generation as efficiency of the panels. So a lot of innovations are happening in India as well as abroad. There is a competition between the thin film as well as crystalline PV technologies, and as the market is gaining, 90% of our installations are on the crystalline technology. Now remember, the lab scale technologies have reached to some 48, 49 or close to 50%, but commercial efficiencies have something like 20, 21%. So there is a gap between what we are doing in the laboratories and what we are able to do in the market. So this gap needs to be bridged. As fast we can bring the technologies to the market, we will be closing the gap between a lab versus a commercial viable technology. So many of the technologies remain at lab level because they are yet to become commercially viable. But in solar, this gap is gradually filling, and that is known as disruption in the technology.
Sorry, sir.
Yeah.
Can you bring principal? The presentation is not in the main screen.
Hello.
Principal.
Yes, sir.
Can you bring the presentation in the main screen? Yeah.
Is it something to be done on my end, or?
It is minimized. The screen is minimized, sir. But
can you bring it in the main screen, the presentation?
Is there something to be done at my end, or?
I think,
you can press F5, sir.
Sir, can you represent now or represent?
Okay, just. I think somebody if he or she disturbs the.
I think someone has presented. So that is a problem. Yeah, now I think it will come. Yeah.
Okay. Now it's
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Now it is visible.
Clear. Yeah. Please proceed.
Thank you.
You can press F5, sir. You can press F5. Yeah. Now it's okay. Yes. Now it's okay.
So,
Yeah.
So we were here. So if you look at the technology side, so we on one side looking on the cell level development, as I said that the cell level developments are something like 50% efficiency, means whatever is the solar radiation falling on a solar cell, we have reached to a level wherein 50% of the incident radiations can be converted into electrical energy. Another innovation is not only to the cell level, but at the system level and the business model level and the market as well as the system operation level. So what all those innovations are happening. At times we as an engineer thinks that innovation can only happen in lab, but innovations are part of the whole business value chain, and we should explore, be part of those innovations wherever we can contribute. It can be on the business model side, it can be on the market design side, it can be on the system operation side, apart from the technological innovations which we discussed on the previous slides. So, friends, in the solar, because it has reached to grid parity, this is leading to a lot many innovations. So, because we are connecting a lot of solar to the grid, so the energy storage has become yet another innovation. And the energy storage technology, whether it is lithium bromide or liquid metal or so many technologies have come. They are taking a very big advantage to the innovators. So solar has become cheaper. So there is yet another thing which is happening is that you just pass on the solar electricity into water. Water will be dissociating into hydrogen and oxygen, and separating out hydrogen and oxygen is yet another technology in the market, wherein you produce a cheap hydrogen. And you can again burn the hydrogen in a fuel cell and produce electricity. So that is yet another. There are a lot of innovations happening on IoT, Internet of Things, because in a solar plant you have got millions of solar panels and solar cells. They need to be connected, and you have got multiple producers and consumers, and their information needs to be shared. So IoT based and the intelligence in terms of the data technology here, the people who are in computer science, they can also contribute. So that's are the new developments. There are smart grids and micro grids coming up in the market. So that is yet another, the technology side is happening. I will each thing have some of the innovation components, and which takes you a lot. Then the market side, if you see that there are technology aggregator, there are people who are installing solar plants at your roof and selling electricity to the grid directly. There are blockchain technologies which are coming up by the aggregators, which are taking the electricity to the masses, and the investment models are changing. There are technologies which are coming up as the forecast, because solar is uncertain, and the forecasters are also getting a good business. So there are various business chains. You should be part of somewhere in the business chain. At times we as an engineer think that if I just do technological innovators, I can become entrepreneur. Not necessarily. You can become entrepreneur Even if you are a commercial person, you can become entrepreneur. If you are a market person, of course, you as an engineer can serve to anywhere in the business. As we discussed, so on the cell side, on the system side, as well as the technology which we are talking is not only the solar PV technology, but a lot of innovations are happening on the solar thermal technology, wherein the thermal energy storage and heat transfer fluids are being identified, and the fuel cell technology is also, you know, coming up with a lot of innovations. So keep a track on the innovations part of this, and you can be presenting that. Okay, so let me come to just a brief introduction about the system part. If you look at the system, it is very simple. So you have got the solar PV modules, which is exposed to sun rays, and once these sun rays fall on these PV modules, you produce DC electricity. This DC electricity is converted by this inverter. So so far we were talking about the DC, then this is converted into AC, and then finally it is. So system is very simple and rugged system, and that is the reason it is getting more and more popularity. Now, where are the developmental chain? As an entrepreneur, the requirement is that you be part of the solar project work. And for becoming part of the solar project work, you need to have identified a project. Then project means you have to have a good project site, whether it can be a rooftop or it can be. Then you have to do the project assessment, whether the project at that location is feasible or not. Then you have got the project development process, means you have to actually do the construction part of it. Then you have to do the operation and maintenance. This whole process is the value chain, which is the wherein you can contribute and become entrepreneur. So where are we as an entrepreneur? We help people in project identification as a consulting company. We help people to develop their business plan assessment. We help them in design engineering. We help them in EPC part of it. We help them in installation, commissioning, and we do operation and maintenance. So we as a company are part of the whole value chain. The whole value chain is important from the point of view that you should have a good power purchase agreement, because that will make your solar project viable. So so as a part of the entrepreneurship opportunities, you can be part of the whole business chain, and the opportunities come with a couple of questions. So where are the good opportunities? So you should keep track of those opportunities. Which are those policies which can be part of the solar installation? And you should be aware about the installation of under which policy you are doing the installation. Then you should also know that how you are able to generate. So you should be aware about the local issues. What are those things? Solar business is more of a technology as well as finance. So you should be aware about the couple of financial issues also if you really want to become a good entrepreneur, apart from the regulations. So what all you can do, you can participate into National Solar Mission, the Government of India's program to promote solar, wherein they buy the electricity. There are state policies, as Dr. Sethuraman was talking of Tamil Nadu state policies for solar. There are policies wherein you can do installation as a captive power plant on your own rooftop or somebody else's rooftop. You can install and sell electricity to them. So there are opportunities in this segment as well. Then you can also do a third-party sale. You can install your plant in your land and sell this electricity to somebody who is 50 kilometers away from your location. So that is known as third-party or the open access installation. There is an option that is known as REC or the solar-based renewable energy certificate. That also one option by which you install the solar plant and you not only generate electricity, but you are also able to generate e-certificates which are tradable, which will make your solar viable. So there are opportunities not only for the sale of electricity, but in the trading of RECs. RECs are traded at NLDC, National Load Dispatch Center. Then you have got opportunities as rooftop schemes. You have got opportunities as mini grids, and if you are having fat pocket, then you can also install the solar parks. So if you really want to find out good opportunities, there are always constraints. So how you can do that? So you should check the government restrictions. You should check whether the technology is feasible or not. You should check the availability of land. You should coordinate with the local authorities. And there are many issues itself with the state policies of land conversion from agriculture to non-agriculture. So, you know, we should be generally aware about these things. As a passing out engineer, I don't think that you will have that much of knowledge. So I suggest the route should be first you become employee and generate experience, then you become employer. That means you are becoming an entrepreneur, because these things you are not taught in the college. These things will be learned when you are actually doing a project. So the opportunities, I think some of these things were covered by Dr. Sethuraman, so on grade and off grade, but you know, the manufacturing side also have a lot of new technologies and innovations wherein you can become an entrepreneur. So the solar cell and wafer technology, solar panel manufacturing is another. You can also be in a business of manufacturing the combiner boxes. You can do the array junction boxes. You can do inverter assembly type of work. You can do a fabricator of module mounting structure. You can be in the business of solar batteries. You can also do the O&M business of solar plants. So, you know, a lot of opportunities apart from the consultancy opportunities in solar. This is a mind and strategy level game. I would encourage you to become consultant as well. Please visit our website. We publish a lot of solar related knowledge. There are 1300 articles on our website. You will get a flair what you don't get in books. So if you really want to become consultant, you need to be knowing this business. Then only you can become consultant. So spend some time in industry and then become, like I was an academician for 10 years and 5 years working in corporates and then became consultant. So I suggest don't jump directly, have some experience and patience. So, you know, if you really want to learn about this thing, so the solar is a business which is generating a lot of employment. So as an employment opportunities, you can be employed in the value chain. That means you can be part of the feasibility study type of work, you can do tendering work, you can be part of installation work, you can be part of execution, or you can be part of the O&M work. As I said, you know, the in renewable value chain, the largest employment opportunities are in solar. So because government is also having a pressure that you know, there should be more and more employment generated to the skilled workforces. So solar photovoltaic, as you can see, is a field which generates largest number of employment opportunities as of late in the renewable sector. So if you align yourself in this domain, generate a little bit of your academic knowledge, you can surely get into do some sort of trainings or learning new softwares related to this. You can surely be absorbed by the industry. What about in Indian context? You can see, this is the data from NRDC, and you can see, the largest number of jobs are in the rooftop segment. So a rooftop is not a high investment business. You can do installation. You can try even these areas apart from ground mounted and all. So the largest employment is here in the rooftop segment. So you can focus on this and you can be employee or you can become employer, whichever is your taste. Now, a few points I would like to share to my young engineers who are attending this program. I'll just share 5 tips. This is the last slide probably from my side. Don't follow people. Do what you are passionate about. So if you like something, do that only. Then only you will be successful. Sometimes we just follow somebody, oh, that guy has done this work, or I should also do that. So don't follow. If you are passionate about something, success will be coming for sure. So just assess what fascinates you. What is that, if solar or renewables are your passion, then surely do it. If it is unpassion to you, then don't do it just because I'm telling you. You should generate, you should have your passion, and then only you should do it. I am working in this sector right from my academic days to till date. So, of course, you can see my passion about it. So, if you are passionate about it, the success will always follow. Then operate from your core competencies. So we discussed, all the value chain of the solar business, whether it is manufacturing, it is marketing, it is trading, it is installation, or it is O&M, or it is investment, it is a project developer, wherever you are. So what is your core competency? Assess your core competency and then plan accordingly. If your core competency is in the software programming or coding, you can do forecasting type of work. If your core competency is in the marketing, you can do that kind of thing. If your core competency is in the hardware, you can get into the business of solar structures and all as a mechanical engineer. If your core competency is on the electrical system design, you can get into the module manufacturing or the inverter manufacturing. And don't do something which is not making economic sense. If it is making, so develop a business plan. If the business plan is viable, then only you should do it. If it is not viable, just don't do it. So it should be having a viable economic engine. It should make economic sense. You develop a business plan, try to assess it, discuss it with fellow people who are expert about it, and then get into that part so that you are very clear that it is making economic sense. At times, few things do not make economic sense in the beginning. You may have seen, these e-commerce platforms like Snapdeal or any other platform in the initial or Uber. In initial years, their business goes negative, and then once their target size comes, then they become positive. So business plan can be long term, not a problem. You cannot be in the first year economic benefit per se, but it should be very clear that it should make economic sense in near term, medium term, or short term, whatever is your plan. And finally, it is a teamwork. You cannot do it alone. So there is a book you can read. that book is good to great. If you really want to become an entrepreneur, I would suggest that. It is by Jim Collins. So it's like a bus. You have to create a team, put people of like-minded who can work with you and guide them, motivate them, and then execute your business plan with a team. Alone, you cannot do it. So believe me, you should develop a team which works. You as a team leader, if you're an entrepreneur, or you be part of the team, and then follow the technology. What you are doing today may not be viable tomorrow, so always follow the new technologies. We have all seen the examples of Kodak and so many other things, even Nokia. So you have to keep innovating the businesses and the technology side of that businesses. If you are innovative about that, and that's the reason I was talking what all innovations are happening, because now you enter in this business with lack of knowledge, then it will not make sense. So follow the technology, and there are a lot of technological innovations are happening. If you become part of those innovations, then it will help you to become in the main business at a faster pace. So follow the technology side. And finally, statement from my side that, as Dr. Sethuraman said, he is a very successful person, this and that. No, success is a journey. It is not a destination. So thank you very much for patience hearing. I have exceeded probably my time as well. I will be happy to take up your questions.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for your smart presentation. Before we move on to the next point, so our secretary and correspondent, Dr. M.A. Bhagavan Nizam, is here. I request sir to say a few words about this webinar and the speaker also. Please, sir.
I think Dr. Ravi Maran,
Yes,
I'll be happy if you could open the question and answer session. Then I will give my small
okay,
talk.
sir. Okay, sir. Right. Okay, sir. Now we'll move on to the question and answer session. Participant, if you have any doubt about on this renewable energy, now the forum is open to all the participants. Will you please unmute your mic and ask your question. Otherwise, you can type your question in the chat box so that we will read it one by one.
Dear viewers, myself and Dr. Sanjay, we are waiting for you. Please, whoever wants to ask questions, please, only that person please ask, remaining all unmuted.
Participant, you can ask your question either orally or you can type it in a chat box. Please.
Sir, good morning, sir. I'm Mrs. Meghla Devi, HOD EEE, sir. So,
Madam, proceed, madam. Proceed.
sir, Mr. Sethuraman, sir, Dr. Sethuraman, sir,
Please, madam.
which renewable solar system is economical, sir? Hybrid or individual solar power plant?
Actually,
Which one is economical, sir?
yeah, your question is which one will be economical, whether it is a hybrid or standalone. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
See, there is no direct answer to your questions because it depends upon the locations. For example, you see here, if you are sitting, you are placed in Chennai or kind of metropolitan cities, space is very constrained. You don't have sufficient space. That place you can go for hybrid systems. Another point is when you are going for hybrid, for example, you see solar and wind. So both wind should be available and solar also should be available. So for example, suppose you have invested your money on hybrid system, but solar is available, but wind is not available. That case, for hybrid, you can go for only solar. Wherever you find that both potential is available, solar is available, wind is available, then space is not there, then you can go for hybrid system. Like that, you have to see your available things. It depends upon your availability of sources, you can decide which will be better.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Sir, one more question, sir.
Please, madam.
Sir, how we can bring the solar efficiency in 100% by periodical maintenance, sir?
Pardon, madam? Power is, can you?
That is the efficiency of the solar panel. How we can bring more, sir?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's good. Because increasing the efficiency of solar panel, it is not in your hand. Because it is manufactured by the company. Again, depends upon the materials. Whether the polysilicon and different type of materials are used for manufacturing the solar panels. With respect to the composition of the materials, again, the availability of sunlight. Sometimes you see the solar panel itself, if it is installed in a dusty area, for example, Rajasthan, that kind of state, the dust itself will affect your efficiency. Okay, every time you have to remove the dust, and again, the only thing is, it is a people are working in this area doing research for many years. If it is just solar panel, just it is about 20 to 25%. Even somebody is claiming that it may go 30 or something. But it is continuous research is required. But after purchasing the panel, how we can improve the efficiency of solar panel means just by maintaining the systems in a good way. So the battery systems and inverter, your connector load, everything should be matched with your panel capacities. Then only you can improve the efficiency. Different ways are there to improve the efficiency. It's not only by doing only one technique. Yes, madam.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Any other question?
One more question to Dr. Sanjay Vasistha, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, please would you tell the minimum eligibility criteria needed for the fresh engineer to become an entrepreneur in the renewable energy side, sir?
Okay. The entrepreneurs are in renewable are becoming who are not even qualified as well. You can see many people are doing O&M. They are not formally engineers, but still they are doing. So they are also entrepreneur. But as a graduate engineer, if you have adequate knowledge of this field, that is what makes you more competent to become entrepreneur. But I would still suggest that once you are passed out, you gain at least 2-3 years knowledge in the field, and then try to become entrepreneur. You can see Jack Ma, Alibaba CEO. He always said that in the initial days you join with some CEO who can guide you, and then become your own CEO. So that is what the criteria we should adopt.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Any other question from the participant side?
Sir, this is Satya, faculty of MAMC, sir.
Yes, madam.
So my question is, what is the approximate cost of implementing this for an ordinary residential house, sir?
Implementing of what? Which system? Solar, wind? Which system you want to implement in the residential house?
So solar one, sir. Solar one.
Okay, madam. Okay, yeah. For example, Sanjay, can I answer to her?
Yeah, please. Go ahead.
Madam, Sanjay, madam. That is you are going to, since you are asking for residential purpose. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, first thing is you find out the load. How much load you will be using? Because your house, how many people are there? How much the current load are there? Like refrigerator, fridge, AC, this RT plates, everything. First you have to find out the connector load of your that house. That is the thing that in your house you have say 3 kilowatt capacities. Then you can go for installing 3 kilowatt solar power. Now the thing is, your question is how much cost is required. The cost is, you can say that only the solar module, the cost is varying from 20 rupees per watt to 38 rupees per watt. I mean, about 35,000 rupees required for purchasing only module. Okay, for 1 kilowatt. And then again you have to go for inverter, purchasing inverter, battery system, everything. Again, since it is your home, residential purpose, let me understand that you are not going to export your power to the grid. You only use yourself. That case, what is required? Only the inverter is required so that it can convert from DC power to AC. The approximate cost would be 1,25,000 rupees. But out of this 1,25,000 rupees, government is supporting. Even if you see one of my presentations in the Tamil Nadu Energy Development Agency, they have if you see that the domestic or residential people, they give invest 47,000 to 60,000 rupees only. So your investment will be maximum 60,000 rupees per kilowatt. Remaining government is funding. Yes,
Oh, okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Any other question?
Sir, this is from mechanical HOD, sir.
yeah, please, sir.
Sir, what is the average lifetime of the domestic plant, sir, solar plant?
Okay, Setu, let me answer that part.
Yeah, please answer.
The typical solar panels are 20 to 25 years life because they don't have any moving part. As long as sun is shining, they will keep producing electricity. The inverter, which is converting DC to AC, that is having a lifetime of 5 years. After that, you need to change it. And the balanced electrical components typically have the lifetime of 1 year. That is the warranties. Okay, like your car has a 5-year warranty, but it will run for more than 5 years. The same thing goes with inverter and balance of system. It's a manufacturer warranty which is available to you. I hope I answered that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Any other question? Sir, this is a principal. So this is a question to Dr. Sethuraman, sir.
Yeah, please, sir. Ask me.
Some of our students are ready to do the project in renewable energy. But the problem is the investment in this particular project is very huge. Because of that, most of the students, they are denied. So what type of support we expect from CSIR for doing this type of renewable energy projects? So your advice and suggestion to the student committees are required, sir. Please, sir.
Yeah. So since students, they have to carry out the project work. So your point is they may have to invest more amount. So you are asking that what are the supports available from government or from CSIR for the project work. So the thing is, firstly, everyone has to spend some amount at least. So the students being engineering students, doing the 4-year course, other things, some amount he naturally has to spend for doing his project work. But still he can get support. Suppose his project idea is good. But Satyam understand that. Let him approach our scientists or our CSR laboratories. So we will just go through his proposal or idea. Then since we are having project, naturally we will be funding him. So he don't have to spend his money for doing his project work. But it should be fine with our lab activities and our activities with the society. Then naturally we will be supporting the students for committing project work. Only thing is
Thank you.
more of a clear idea.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. If no more question from the participant side, now I request our secretary and correspondent to say a few words. Please, sir.
Yeah, most esteemed guests for today's webinar, Dr. Sethuraman and Dr. Sanjay Vasistha. It was really a very wonderful session. You both of us have given enlightened our students with the informations about the renewable energy and how they can become an entrepreneur. I hope that this today's webinar will enlighten our students. But there are very few questions because of this pandemic situation now happening all over. Our students are also a bit worried about because they are in the 4th year and 3rd year, unable to do the projects or unable to know because they are now being handled only with the classes, regular classes. Is there anything which is available online from CSIR or from any other agencies that they can update themselves digitally with respect to the renewable energy? I would like Dr. Sethuraman to answer. Anything could be done digitally for the students because they are now at home. Yeah.
As I informed you, so CSIR has about 38 laboratories. Each laboratory has its own website. Yeah, for the students, either you can just click onto CSIR website. From that, you can again go into the lab and find out the activities. And each and every laboratories are giving the training materials, everything, because nowadays there is no other option. So we hope to go for giving training through online only. Now because next year, so 5G is going to come. But anyway, each and every lab has certain programs. training, success, everything. So, I am coming to know, then I will be letting you know. But my best advice is students have to please look into the all CSR lab website. Then you, as I informed you, even others also like TADA or Tamil Nadu Wind Energy Development Agencies, other government offices also giving training. So your students can please refer my presentation material, website, everything. So many governments are there, they are giving training online. It is that status are given in my presentation, sir.
Okay. And one more thing, sir, in your presentation regarding the emission of CO2,
Yes, sir.
you mentioned that for coal it is 2.41 per kg. Is it so?
Yes, sir. For coal
And
based,
yeah, CO2 emission.
come to your question.
Yeah,
Please complete your question.
emission of CO2 with respect to the type of fuel consumption, you mentioned coal as 2.41 CO2 emission and LPG as 1.95 percentage. So now, how can this byproduct can be converted into a useful product by capturing the CO2?
Byproduct of what? When you are burning
Capturing the CO2 emission,
yeah.
how can we make use of the CO2 byproduct into a
Nowadays,
because this CO2 is giving a pollution. So is there any way that it can be captured and the byproduct can be utilized as a raw product or some other?
तो असम वाला आदमी से बात हो गया तुम्हारा कब जाना?
Sanjay, please mute your
तो आज ही करा दो.
Sanjay, please mute your mic. Yes, sir. Yeah, now, hello, sir. Are you hearing my voice?
Yeah, now okay. Yeah.
Anyway, sir, I understood that from your question. Because when you are burning coal or other LPG, other things, fuels, then CO2 is getting emitted. And on which way you can.
Do we have any mechanism to capture the CO2 byproduct and make that useful? Because this CO2 emission is polluting the air.
So there are mechanisms that are available to capture the CO2. CO2 capturing is there. Again, what you will get, again it will be again CO, or even for example, water gas is there, CO plus hydrogen. And because capturing CO2 means minimizing the CO2 level. Okay.
Okay.
Product you are expecting that because CO2 is a gas.
Yeah. For example, in burning of coal in the thermal plant.
Yes, sir.
So now we have got the CO2 emission in huge number. It pollutes the air.
Yes, sir.
This CO2 capturing can be made as this byproduct can be made as somewhere useful, like the fly ash breaks. Yeah.
I got your question, sir. I understood your question because CO2 itself is a gas. Capturing the CO2, can we use that byproduct you are saying? What is the byproduct? Because CO2, either you can byproduct means what? Either it should be oxygen or carbon. If you are getting carbon as a byproduct, then again the carbon can be used to some other things, so that they can produce some other fuels.
Yeah, for example, making carbon something good, it could be used to make the glass or some other products. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
But the mechanism is available, capturing the CO2.
Yeah, I have seen in internet literature, sir. So many processes are there to capture the CO2. So I request you to please see it. The information is there.
And one more thing in your presentation, in the last 2 slides, can you just show your presentation because.
One minute. Yeah.
Last 2 slides, you have run that very fastly. So I think our students might not have taken that.
What is the entrepreneurship opportunities?
Yeah, this was some of the websites you showed. Okay. The Department of Scientific and Industrial, DSIR, the National Science and Technology. That slide. Yeah.
Okay. Which slide, sir? You are asking whether this is one.
Micro, small and medium enterprise, small industry development.
1 minute, sir.
Before the prism, prism, before the prism.
Yeah. I will just open.
Yeah.
This is a DSIR.
Yeah, this one.
This one. From this slide, what do you know, sir?
Yeah. What was this presentation, sir? This is regarding?
Actually, DST, this is Government of India, is also supporting entrepreneurs. In this website, we see what are the things are there. Only current program. If you go to this DST website, one program is there. If you click program, you find out the current program, then some will come. Establishment. Here under current program, what I am getting is like so many programs are there, like hybrid, IRDP, like that. So from here, your engineers, they can find out that any supporting project is there, any project is all. Suppose they want to start their own business, they can get the details from here. So for here, you see the Department of Science and Research, the National Science and Technology Entrepreneurship Development Board is also there. They are also supporting. Then the micro, small, and medium enterprises, they also one of the from supporting entrepreneurs. This all the is there. So this is an information source, sir. From the source, students can get.
Thank you. And one more thing, if we would like to have some relationship with the CSR, so that somebody from your experts can be mentors for our own students, is there any MOU, something could be done with the college at CSIR?
You are welcome, sir. You are welcome to first thing. You are welcome to have MOU, because when you are going to work together in cooperation. That's what the MOU is required.
Yeah, that's what.
That's so that your student can come to our lab, they can do their project work.
Correct.
And also all the things equally, mutually, we will get the benefit.
Okay.
So
how do we take it forward? Can we do it now digitally, or our physical presence is needed at this situation?
Sir, I am sitting in Chennai. It is a regional center. My superior is scientist in charge in this center. But my director is sitting in Chandigarh.
Okay.
In the head office.
So we can do it digitally.
Yeah, already some colleges they have made MOU with us. You can send a request letter to our scientist in charge.
Okay.
That we would like to, your college would like to have MOU with CSIO and for doing any joint research work or helping the students. Or suppose your faculty want to do their PhD work, they can come and register with us. Okay, this kind of academic related work, jointly you can do it. So you can send your request letter to our scientist in charge. Then he will forward your request to our director. Then it will be this process. We can do it.
That's great, sir. That's great. That's great. Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Sethuraman and Dr. Sanjay Vasistra, for your wonderful, informative, enlightening speech. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Whether this session is over, can we wind up?
Principal, now the stage is yours.
Yeah.
So thank you, sir. Thanks for your interaction with the two experts. And I request Dr. S. Balamurugan to propose the vote of thanks. Balamurugan? Balamurugan? Balamurugan, sir, are you there?
Sir, yes, sir. It is an immense pleasure to deliver vote of thanks in this webinar. First of all, I thank our chief guest, Dr. Sethuraman and Dr. Sanjay Vasistra, for giving wonderful, informative and innovative speech. This will be helpful for our students community. Thank you, sir. Next, I thank our secretary and correspondent, Dr. Muhammad Nizam, for providing such a wonderful webinar. Thank you, sir. Then I would like to thank our principal for organizing this webinar. Thank you, sir. Next, I thank Vice Principal, Training and Placement Officer, and all heads of departments and faculty members for coordinating this. And finally, I thank all the students and all participants for making this webinar is very successful. Thank you all, sir.
Thank you, Balamurugan. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sethuraman sir, and thank you, Sanjay sir.
Thank you, dear participants. Thank you, chief guest. Thank you.